Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you've all had a great week. Today we're going to talk about it's the early week one NFL predictions for the 2025 season. I just got to tell you, before you know it, September 4th will be here, and the first game of the NFL season between the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champions, and the Dallas Cowboys will be taking place. You'll blink your eyes, and we will be at the first week of the NFL season. So I just kind of wanted to go through all of the games now and give you my early thoughts on week one. And boy, do I just have to tell you, if you're a fan of the NFL Network's Red Zone channel, you're going to be in for a treat. I believe that the majority of these games are going to be settled by 3-4 points or less, come down to last second field goals. We may even get one or two overtime games in the first week of the NFL season. There are just so many even matchups in the first week of the NFL season. I only see a couple of matchups that I don't see as coin flip games. It's going to be an incredible week one. Looking forward to it. But I'm going to tell you, if you love close games, if you like the drama that is the National Football League, this may very well be the most exciting week one in NFL history. And I don't just say that because it's going to be new and it's the upcoming 2025 NFL season, but that first Sunday in sports for a lot of fans is a big one because it makes every team, every fan of an NFL team, feel like they have a chance, an even field chance, to get to the championship game at the end of the year. So that is why the first week of the NFL season, for many, to me, is as big, if not bigger, than the Super Bowl itself. So let's just go down some of the games. We're going to go down the entire list, and I'm going to give you some quick thoughts on it, and then we'll move forward on that. But I'm just going to tell you again, coin flip games week one, games decided by 5 points or less, 4 points or less, last second field goals. I'll be surprised if there's any real blowouts, except for maybe a couple of games this coming week one in the NFL season. First, Cowboys versus Eagles, NFC East battle to kick off the 2025 NFL season. I expect that'll be a close one. Eagles are going to be defending their championship. Jalen Hurts, obviously, is back there at quarterback. It's going to be an interesting time in Philadelphia. The Cowboys really, people want to see the Cowboys be good again. And, if you really would like to get off to a good start for the NFL season, this is a way to do it by beating your NFC East rival in the Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll see what happens. Again, tough game to predict. Last year, you'll remember that the NFL on a Friday night went down to Brazil and had a classic game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles held on. The Green Bay Packers had a chance to win the game with a Hail Mary on the last play of the game. And what you really got to look at in that scenario and situation is that, going to Brazil has become a new thing for the NFL. They're doing it again this year on a Friday night. You're going to see Patrick Mahomes go down to take on the Los Angeles Chargers in Brazil. And it's, of course, Andy Reid versus Jim Harbaugh. It's going to be very interesting to see where we are in that game, and I'm really excited to see what this game will bring. Again, I think it'll be another close game, another coin flip game. The Buccaneers versus the Falcons, just an even game. Another AFC South matchup. Again, I just think that there's going to be so many close games in week one of the NFL season. The Dolphins and the Colts, these are two teams who are looking for an identity. They're looking to take the next step. They want to go deep into the playoffs. Can the Miami Dolphins, traveling to Indianapolis, find a way in week one to get it together and beat the Colts? It's going to be an interesting toss-up game. I think they do have a chance to obviously win that game. We'll have to wait and see. The Arizona Cardinals were going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Many people know the Saints had many troubles on offense last year, many troubles at the quarterback position, a lot of injuries, a lot of challenges for the New Orleans Saints. Arizona's trying to find its identity again, get back to where it wants to get to, become a playoff team behind Kyler Murray. Can they get there week one? They're a big favorite week one. on the road, which goes to show you that a lot of people don't expect the Saints to be a great team in 2025. Next, it's going to be one of the matchups that everyone's going to be focusing on just for storyline issues. Aaron Rodgers with his new team, probably in the last year of his NFL career finally, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, will travel to take on his former team, the New York Jets. And we've seen in the past other quarterbacks, including, Geno Smith, when they leave the Jets, they go to another team like Geno did with the Seahawks, and they start lighting up the board. And so with Aaron Rodgers, the question will be, will he start performing better this coming year than last season against when he was with the New York Jets? He's going to be facing them week 1. And I think it's, one of those games where you just have to circle where the Steelers have a really tough schedule and they really need this game week 1. And, what will happen to Aaron Rodgers throughout the season? Obviously injuries are always a possibility for quarterbacks, but quarterbacks who have, who are veterans, maybe more injury prone, obviously, is Aaron Rodgers. So it'll be very interesting to see. But I think the Steelers will probably get by in that game. If I had to make one prediction for week 1, I think that's probably the one I'd make. The Commanders are playing the Giants. Jalen Daniels played so well last year and got the Washington Commanders in his rookie season into, deep into the playoffs. That was a pretty phenomenal effort. All the credit to him. It'll be interesting to see what he does in the new season. And, of course, now Russell Wilson going from the Pittsburgh Steelers to now the quarterback of the New York Giants. Is this his last season in the NFL? We shall see. Will the Giants get a boost from the veteran quarterback being there? I think they will. It'll be a very interesting story and be interesting to see how Russell Wilson does this year. But if I had to give a nod, I'd probably give a nod to the Commanders week 1 as well. They're big favorites also compared to the rest of these other teams. Moving forward on that, the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars, you've got a team with 4 wins and a team with 5 wins. This kind of game, I feel like when you've had a season where you have only won 4 or 5 games in the prior NFL season, this is the way you get off to starting the year on a positive note. And if you win this game, you're just going to feel a little bit better about yourself. I always like to say that we really don't know who these NFL teams are until they get past 4 games in the season. And what I mean by that is that the first 4 weeks, we really don't know who each of these NFL teams are. And then once we get past that point, then we have a better idea about who these NFL teams are. Well, Jaguars, Panthers, who are you in 2025? One of you is probably going to get a victory, probably not going to be a tie. So Bengals versus Browns. Joe Burrow, of course, had some issues at quarterback last year. Hopefully he'll be back to show his very, very best. The Bengals, went from 5-8 to 9-8. They rallied at the end of the season. Are the Bengals ready to get back to being a top 4 AFC contender? We'll have to wait and see, but they're going to be playing the Browns, who, questions at quarterback. Again, division road game, week 1, always a challenge. Bengals should win, but you got to keep looking out for that one as well. Broncos versus Titans. The Broncos, I think, surprised everybody last year by making the playoffs. Obviously lost in the wild card round to the Buffalo Bills, 31-7. But I think the Broncos, were probably the overachieving team of last year, one of them anyways, and they're going to be at home hosting the Tennessee Titans, another team who only won a couple of games last year. If you're looking to get to the point where you want to get to this year, I absolutely believe that you have to win this game if you're the Broncos. You want to build off of that playoff appearance last year. This is the game that you have to win in week 1. San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. It'll be very interesting to see what Seattle does at quarterback now that Geno Smith is gone. Brock Purdy on the other side. Again, another division road game for the 49ers. Should be a very good game. Packers versus Lions. Jordan Love versus Jared Goff. Need I say more? Again, another close game. Could come down the wire. Could be a lot of points. This could be a real fun one, week 1. Looking forward to the Packers versus the Lions. The Rams and the Texans. This is one of those games where you've got 2 teams who are, kind of in the middle of the road. They can be in the middle of the road. And the question becomes, which one of them wants it more week 1? that's what I get from the Rams. And the Texans, again, toss-up game. Ravens versus Bills. Everyone's going to be watching. This one, I think it'll be definitely an interesting game on Sunday Night Football. You know, losing this game week one, won't deter either of these teams. But if you're the Bills or you're the Ravens and you're planning to go back to the playoffs again this year, you always think about those tiebreakers at the end of the year that can decide different things. 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed. Home field advantage throughout the playoffs. While it's week one game and it's not a necessary victory, if you get that victory week one against one of your other prominent teams within the conference, that's just a gigantic win. Again, coin flip game, Bills and Ravens coin flip game, not one that I'd want to make a prediction on. And then finally, Monday Night Football, ABC, national television, ESPN. Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears. The Bears are going to be interesting to see what they do with Caleb Williams in year two. It's going to be very interesting to see on that front. Vikings, looking for an identity, looking to get back to where they want to get to. It'll be very interesting to see what the Vikings do this year. I think the NFC overall, the NFC North is going to be a really interesting division. I'm really excited to see those four teams in the Packers, Bears, Lions, and Vikings. Going to be a very close division, in my opinion, just my humble opinion. So finally, we go to our Las Vegas Raiders playing the New England Patriots. I think it's a coin flip game. Again, Raiders, if you want to get off to a positive start to start the season, this is the game that you absolutely have to win. So, can the Raiders go on the road and beat the Patriots? I think so. Patriots had a tough, challenging season last year. Hopefully they'll be able to make it better for their sake this year. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Those are my thoughts on the NFL. Week one, again, a lot of coin flip games, a lot of games being decided by a few points, a lot of games probably being decided in the last couple of minutes. As they say on the NFL Network, the witching hour, the fourth quarter, victories are going to be made week one in the NFL. It's going to be an exciting one. Probably keep you on the edge of your seat. That's my opinion. So those are my thoughts on week one of the NFL season. If you'd like to keep up with everything we have going on here and see Interview in Las Vegas and beyond, we do sports, entertainment, everything in between. Have some of the great podcasts. We just had one. A couple of them with Joe Cortez. We had a boxing panel last week with Al Bernstein, Gary Stretch, and Bob Santos. Check those out. I'll put those in the video section below for you to check out. And continue to watch C1 Interview here in Las Vegas, and we so much appreciate your support. I'll see you in the next one. Are you ready for some football?